Good day, everyone, and welcome to Obidient Family TV. The program is Hope Alive. Yes, there is hope, and the new Nigeria is possible. Now, good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending your time zone. Today is the 64th independence of Nigeria, and whether we are celebrating, I don't see celebrations happening in Nigeria. What I see happening in Nigeria is all about protest. And we see that today that the Nigerian police has attacked the fearless in October protesters in Abuja with tear gas, live ammunition, even when they are flying the flag of Nigeria. Yes, and we know that several reactions from social media users is flooding everywhere. Just protesters waving the Nigerian flags were captured, running away from officers of the Nigerian police. What kind of a state capture is this? Well, according to the report, protesters were part of those engaged in this protest of today. And in the viral photo that surfaced and videos surfacing online, protesters were seen running and scampering for safety after some police officers started firing tear gas and live ammunition at protesters. And of course, His Excellency Peter Obi has also gone ahead to talk about all of this. Obi urged Nigerians to seek a true independent nation free from state capture and end the unprecedented hardship and suffering. He made the call today in his X handle while marking the 64th independence anniversary from British colonialism of October 1st, 1960. He said an anniversary celebration, whether for an individual or a country, offer opportunities to reflect on memories, celebrate accomplishments, look forward to the future, and they express gratitude. He said that this is exactly what we are doing today as our dear nation marks the 64th independence. But really, are we doing that today? Because what we see is protests that engulfed the city of Abuja, Lagos under bridge. Everywhere across Nigeria, there is some sort of protest going on, even in families across Nigeria. But we'll be diving deep into that, and of course, we'll not also forget to mention the rhetorics of Tinubu's Independence Day speech today, which fell short of expectations as usual. But before we get into all of this, let me introduce the people who wish to have their own opinion into this very conversation. Of course, we have our own Mr. Bassi, and we have Tony, and other Obedients who will be joining us virtually. So let's get the discussion going on. First, let's get the reaction of Nigerians. Just one reaction, because we really have a lot to speak about. Let's get the reaction of one Oluwatobi Loba, who said that we will not fold our arms and watch Tinubu unleash terror on Nigerians. Let's take a listen to this, then we get to the discussion.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm Comrade Ibrahim Oluwatobi Loba.
So what are your concerns? Why are you here?
Well, simply because the last time that we did our protest, the president came out and made some empty promises. All the promises that Tinubu made, none of the promises has been fulfilled. Even the 70,000 minimum wage, he has not paid any workers. And if you look at it now, things are getting worse. Nigerians are hungry and angrier than before. In fact, the economic situation is unbearable. So we cannot fold our arm and allow this government to unleash terror on us. That's why we are here to continue to protest until Tinubu listens to us and reverse the policy that has brought us where we are today.
So what exactly are your expectations? We know that the end-band governance held, recently, that was on August 1st to 10th. What are the assurances that you have that this particular protest will yield better results?
We have great assurance. It is when the people don't speak out that the government will take them for granted. But government is always afraid of the people. Now, we are going to sustain this protest. It's going to be a series of protests. And what I'm seeing is more and more people have been thrown into poverty. Definitely those that are thrown into poverty will come out to join the protest. And if the government sees that the protest is mounting, the momentum is mounting, Tinubu will be left with no option than to to listen to us and revise the policy that has brought untold ship on Nigeria.
There are several reactions from Nigerians across the states. But of course, we will not be taking much of the reactions because we see all of this in all the platforms that we have. But reflecting on what this man has just mentioned about Tinubu's Independence Day speech, which of course Nigerians know that fell short of expectations, particularly in addressing the plight of peaceful protesters and prisoners of conscience. By not acknowledging their struggle, Tinubu missed an opportunity to uphold the fundamental principles of democracy. Dissent and protest are essential components of a healthy democracy, and ignoring them undermines the very foundation of our democratic society. Mr. Bassi, let me start with you. Talking about democratic society, do you think, I believe you would have seen what His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi said today about democracy and the state capture that is happening. Do you think that Peter Obi succinctly captured what he meant by a state capture as a result of this Independence Day broadcast that he did through his X handle?
Good evening, Mr. Kanu. Thank you for having me once again. Good day, my fellow Zoom panelists. Let me start by saying that we are far from being a democratic nation. There's nothing to point to the fact that we are a country that is experiencing democracy. And what we have is just a bunch of politicians who come together to serve their own personal interests. Right? And in doing that, they will stop at nothing in making sure that they trample down upon any opposing views. Like our principal barely said, if there is anything to write home about this independence, what we need is to be free from the shackles of this state capture that we found ourselves. And that's the only independence we should be celebrating, because Nigeria has been captured. And how do we free ourselves from this slavery is yet to be seen. Concerning the speech of Chief Bola Tinubu, for me, that was just a mere ritual to fulfill all righteousness, so that it won't look as if on a day like this he didn't speak. And one would have expected that a day like this, the government of the day will take stock of their performances and appraise themselves on the things they have done, showcasing what they have done to Nigerians, pointing to the real achievement, not rhetorics. But what we are seeing is we're seeing them doing the same thing over and over again, just for the mere fact that they just want to speak, to deliver a speech, either on an Independence Day or on a Democracy Day, just to make it look as if they are busy, they are doing something. But in actual fact, they are doing nothing. It's a sorry state for a nation of 64 years that today we cannot point to any tangible thing that make us look like a nation. But what we are seeing is that we have a bunch of politicians who have come in to use divide and rule to disseminate Nigerians, disintegrate us, and make us feel have a sense of hopelessness, because that's what is permeating the entire nation. And so when people begin to take to protest, rather than them protecting the interests of Nigerians, which they have sworn by the Constitution to uphold, the security and safety of every Nigerian, providing Nigerians with the basic necessity as enshrined in the Constitution, but they are giving to Nigerians the other way around, what were the opposite of what the Constitution has mandated, enshrined. So this is where we are as a nation, and it's really, really sad that in the midst of all of this, we seem to have a lot of despondency in the society, in the nation. We can't seem to have a glimpse of hope looking into the future, because the government of the day lacks that capacity to even lead us into that, give us that sense of hope. So it's a sad day. I look into the atmosphere, the atmosphere of the nation. It doesn't look like we are celebrating anything. Well, it's a day that should even be celebrated. As I drive through the streets, I'm not seeing any sense of. I remember back in the days when we were still young, in the 70s, early 80s, a day like this used to be a day of celebration all over the country. But today it's a far cry. What we just see is a little. What even points to the fact that we are celebrating is the social media that is actually awash with all manner of messages here and there. Beside that, we are not seeing anything tangible, physical, that we can hold on to, apart from the fact that the people in government are celebrating Ashwebi. I saw a couple of the lawmakers carrying the Ashwebi, and it's laughable that this is the only thing we can celebrate as a nation. So okay, it's unfortunate that we found ourselves in this situation, and we do hope that someday we will be liberated from all of this. Thank you.
Okay. The other thing that I wanted to bring to you for your own, what you think has to deal with the protest of today. Like you said, all the social media are washed with different accounts of what happened in different states. But let's look at Abuja precisely, Eagle Square. And why do you think the police are really going after protesters with tear gas and also live ammunition as reported from Abuja? Let's leave out the issue of, okay, Chief Bola Tinubu never addressed that issue today in his broadcast. We know he's not interested in dealing with the issues that before Nigeria. But for the protesters who were out there today, and they were tear gassed by the police, and they were shooting and all of that. What are your thoughts on this? I believe probably that didn't happen much in Lagos, but Abuja, there were reports of a whole lot of things happening over there.
Yes, let me backtrack a bit. If Chief Bola Tinubu had addressed the protesters issue, it would have been the miracle of the year. I personally did not even expect anything of such from him, because knowing who they are, judging by their antecedent, you know that these people don't even have the slightest human sympathy or empathy. of how Nigerians feel. So back to the issue of the police. They are just carrying out the instruction, the directive of their paymasters. So that's what they are doing. The Nigerian police, why did I even call them Nigerian police? Because they are not Nigerian police, they are Nigeria police. They are here to protect Nigeria. That is the people that are the rulers. They are just out to carry out the directive of their paymasters. So don't expect anything less from them. And the saddest part of it is that these people who are doing this are also suffering more. They are even suffering more than the protesters because their children are involved, their relatives are involved. And I did ask a policeman some times ago, why are you guys doing this? When you see protesters, rather than you supporting what they are doing, you are going against them. And the guy told me that they are helpless, even though they know they are going through whatever the protesters are going through, but they are helpless because they can't do otherwise. I said, well, this is where we are as a nation, where the people that are sent out to maim and kill, tear gas the protesters find themselves helpless, and yet they cannot do otherwise. It's a sad moment. It's a sad situation. So the policemen should also realize that they are a victim of what ordinary Nigerians are going through. So they are not going to be spared. When the time comes, they should know that whatever they are doing, there is a repercussion. You cannot sow a bad seed, or you can't sow yam and expect to reap cocoyam. So let them know that a day is coming that all the atrocities that they are committed using the uniform, or be it superior directive, they will pay for it. They will be accountable for it. So there will be a day, a Pharaoh that will come that will know no Joseph, who will make people to be accountable. So they may do that today and think they have escaped the wrath. They may not have escaped the wrath, because someday that thing, it's a boomerang effect. It will come back to them. So I would expect that as policemen who have been assigned to ensure that there is law, peace, law and order in the society, that should be the tenet of their execution, or their activities, their implementation. Whatever they are doing, they should do it within the ambit of the law that set them up. But here we are seeing them doing opposite. It means that even the Constitution, they have been violated by even the people who are supposed to uphold it. So this is where we are as a nation. So it's unfortunate that innocent protesters are being tear gassed, even when they are going about it in a peaceful manner, registering their grievances and making their position known to the government. So rather than them receiving a support, they are being tear gassed, they are being maimed, they are being shot at. This is what it is. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bassi. Well spoken. Let me quickly turn to Mr. Tony. Yeah, Mr. Bassi, thank you very much on that well elucidated talk. But Mr. Tony, from the tweet that His Excellency Peter Obi sent out today, Obi said for him that Nigerians should also, that today should also be a day of sober reflection for every Nigerian, especially for those leaders whose actions and inaction has contributed to the stagnation and glaring failures we are witnessing at the present. And he said that Nigeria needs more independence from state capture. So what is your thoughts on this? As we can see, what is happening in Abuja is an eyesore. What they are doing to peaceful protesters who had done nothing wrong but fly the flag of Nigeria is very, very unfair. So what is your thoughts on what His Excellency Peter Obi said about Nigeria needs more of independence from the state capture? What is your thought on this? And of course, on the protest going out there?
And listeners, welcome to the program. The Governor Peter Obi is actually correct in what he said, that the country should be in the mood of a reflection of the past, the present, and the future. A country's day of independence should be a day the government of the day should explain its policies, where they're coming from, where they have been, the outcome of policies they are implementing to help the population. Rather, what we have is just empty rhetoric, empty promises. They're telling us every day, every time to have patience, that things will be all right. But they have not told us exactly what policies we should be waiting for, the outcome we should be waiting for. Rather than telling us every time to have patience, what have you done since your inception as a government? How long do you expect us to keep waiting for that miracle to happen? You are not able to explain to us what you are doing to make our lives a bit easier from suffering, which we are undergoing right now. So that's exactly what a normal country or the governing body of any institution should be saying, should be doing, should be advocating. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we have been. This is the situation we inherited. And these are the policies we've been implementing to make life easier for you and your families. This is how far we've come. Have patience. We are going to achieve our goals. And these are the steps we are going to take to achieve those goals. Then when you tell us to have patience, we'll have hope that things, you are in the right track. We expect things to be better because we know exactly where you're going. But we don't know where you are going. How do you expect us to have patience? So that's the quagmire we are in this country. By people who have captured the state and using the instrumentalities of force to hold us down, whether we like it or not. This is our government. We're going to do what we like. You have no choice but to just tag along and have patience. That is not normal. It's not the normal way of governance. So we are really terribly in trouble in this country. When people try to protest, you accuse them. You say there are some elements that are trying to hijack the protest. Well, you are supposed to protect the protesters from those trying to hijack the protest and not be gung-ho, always trying to shoot at innocent people who are just asking for a better life, asking you to do certain things to help them ease the burden of life. But you have hijacked the state and you are doing whatever you like. And you are implementing your policies by force, using the state police, the army, the DSS, and all the other forces around to do what you want to do. Let the people breathe. Let the people tell you what they are suffering. Sometimes you claim that you know that people are suffering, but what have you done to ease that suffering? Huh? Except to tell them every time, have patience, have patience, have patience. It's not good enough. And the FCT in particular, very notorious. They've become very notorious in shooting at protesters. Live ammunition. What is Wike trying to prove? That he's a tough guy. But a time and a day will come in this country when Nigerians will wake up and try to stop the hijackers. Otherwise, life will continue to be miserable. Because they are leading us to nowhere. You and I know. But what are we doing to make sure we grab and snatch it from them and then build a better and hopeful Nigeria? We should come out and express our frustrations, our anger at this government. So when there's a protest called, try and come and protest, please. Because that's the only way people will know how much suffering you are going through. You can't be in your house complaining. When it's time to come and show that you are dissatisfied with what is going on, you stay put in your house. It's not helping us. And these guys, since they've captured the state and using force to hold us down, it's not going to be easy to grab it and take it away from them. They are hijackers. They mean no good for you and I. Nothing. They don't. All they are doing is just to satisfy themselves, to feel good about themselves, and enjoy what they should be sharing with the rest of us to make a better living. That's where we are.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Tony. Thank you so much for that. Your concept.
Mr. Bassi, I want your last words on moving forward. As you know, the protesters have vowed, even the organizers, Moele Sowore has vowed that they'll continue with the protest until their demands are heard for. So what do you have to say to Nigerians who are both the ones at home and the ones that are out there in the street protesting again against tomorrow or the next tomorrow or the day after then? What opinion or your thoughts? If you are speaking to Nigerians right now, what will you tell the people that has gone out today to protest and the people that are still in their houses, Mr. Bassi?
Thank you once again. There is an air of despondency around the nation. And Nigerians need to be motivated to be able to come out. So I'm urging all Nigerians who are feeling the effect of this bad governance by this government not to be despair, that winners will never, quitters will never win, but they need to come out and join their counterpart who are already protesting. That's the only way this government will have a listening ear. As it stands, they have made up their mind to ensure that they will frustrate Nigerians in whatever way, and they can only frustrate Nigerians when we have few people coming out to protest. But when we have the masses coming out to protest, I bet you they will have nothing but to listen to what the Nigerian people are saying. As it stands today, it looks as if they are winning. But I can also tell them that it might look as if they are winning, but they are not winning. The true winner of this protest are the suffering Nigerian people who cannot afford a square meal daily, who are going through all manner of hardship in a nation that is blessed with all abundance of natural resources, human resources, name it. Like a friend of mine was delivering a message the other day that Nigeria is blessed with all manner of natural resources, human resources in every aspect of economy. We have Nigerians across the world, I mean, doing exploit. But what we are lacking, and what has been our major problem as a nation, has been good leadership. And so I want Nigerians to rise up and not be despair with whatever antics the government has thrown at us. Let them rise up and be encouraged that weeping may endure for a night, but joy will come in the morning. So let them not despair. Let them know that it is those that are resilient, those that are persistent, they are the ones that will break through. So there is a breakthrough ahead of us if we don't despair. So we need to rise up and join our fellow Nigerians who are out in the street and register our disapproval, our grievances on the way these people are running our economy, running the government. I mean, in the words of the Senate president, that let them go ahead and protest. We will be in our houses eating and enjoying. And I'm sure they are enjoying. They are enjoying themselves. Of course, they don't have no human empathy. They don't feel the empathy what average Nigerians are going through. So we don't blame them anyway. But Nigerians, we should not despair in the midst of all these challenges. Let us rise up. Let us be resilient. Let us be tenacious and ensure that we don't give up. And I know that someday, waiting ahead of us, victory is there waiting for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bassi, and also Mr. Tony, for joining us today, and of course bringing out your opinion on things that are happening in Nigeria as of today. Yes, for you viewers, we also want to thank you for taking out your time to watch us as we bring to you what is happening in Abuja and in Lagos and all the others. We will compile all the reports of what has transpired today and again bring it before you tomorrow again. But then, as you know about His Excellency P2B's tweet of today about the Nigerians' independence from the state capture, he was very clear that when we compare ourselves to countries that gained independence around this same time, before or after us, that Nigeria stands out as a nation in decline, urgently in need of rescue from further decay. He also said that on this same day that we must make a solemn commitment to build a nation that is truly independent from the state capture that has dragged it into failure and kept its people in suffering. P2B also said that we must create a nation free from tribal disunity and religious disharmony, that we must build a new and productive Nigeria that prioritizes the well-being of its citizens. That is coming from His Excellency. So we'll be talking more about the state capture of Obi. Thank you, viewers, for watching. Thank you, active citizens. And lastly, for those people who are out there making Nigerians proud, for people, making people who are hungry in Nigeria proud by being out there in the street, notwithstanding the fierce nature in the street, the army, the police that is all instigated against protesters. We want to use this medium to tell you, congratulations, you are the one that is fighting for the independence of today, because Nigeria is not truly independent. But we'll be looking out for tomorrow to see how that pans out, and see if Chief Bola Tinubu will call another broadcast to tell us about the demands of the protesters, since he did not deal with that today. Thank you once again for being with us. If today is your first time, please like, share, subscribe, so that other people will have notifications that when we come on. Thank you. Until tomorrow, bye for now.
We should capitalize on that.